Hello everybody, today we are checking out Identity by Millie Parfait and Enna Alouette. Now, I'm a massive fan of Enna's voice. We've heard her multiple times on this channel, and she has a stellar range, vocal control, and ability to just alter her demeanor when singing. It's incredible. So this is actually going to be the first time, though, that I'm hearing Millie Parfait. So I'm excited to see this, and I'm excited to see how their voices mix, because this is a duet cover. So yeah, I believe I have heard Identity before, though it has been a very long time. So this may as well be a new reaction to the song itself for me. But I'm excited to get into this. Let's check it out in 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh, I want to point out, it's not very often that you hear a bass take center stage like that, and obviously we've got these high treble tones that are leading the instrumentation early on, but what catches my ear the most is just that bass on the down low, which is really satisfying to hear. And I love how you can hear it. I believe that's a real bass. That sounds like a real bass, and the reason I say that is because it feels like you're going to hear the bass string just slightly tap the bottom of either the pick guard or the fretboard, and you're going to hear it kind of hit that and snap back up. If it's not a real bass, then that's a very nice digital bass that they've chosen. We've got this really nice higher pitch here, which I suppose might be the reason why we've got this introductory bass tone, because it creates a direct contrast when you take this nice bass tone and you immediately follow it up with these high, fast-paced vocal tones. Let's scroll back a little bit just so I can listen to that again. I'm not completely sure whose voice that is, because from what we've heard from Enna, her voice can change on a dime. She can alter her voice's demeanor and the inflection in her voice super easily. So, which ironically makes it a little hard for me to catch on to whose voice it is. I love that harmonization there, and we're getting harmonization on a faster part, which adds so much more build-up to the song. Well, normally you'd have like, and this may just be the composition of the original, but the composition itself is really nice, because a lot of times you'll have these fast parts that take solo stage. They get one vocal track on this really fast part, because it can be hard to stack multiple vocal tracks when you've got fast-paced lyrics, because even a slight misplacement on the rhythm may result in it sounding incorrect or a little overly layered. So getting that harmonization on the fast part and getting it to sound good is a massive feat, and I feel like just maybe that might have been accomplished by using a pitch drop effect on the vocal track. But if not, then that's just a very impressive ability to keep track of your rhythm and be able to project very nicely even on those low tones when you're not too loud. Because there's a difference between projecting and being loud in volume. You can project really well but still hold a quieter tone, and you can see that quality here. And it sounds like we're getting Enna on those lower tones there. Ooh, the way the piano made it into a softer drop. We got that build up, and then instead of getting a loud like a bass or drum introduction, we got just a cutout and then a delayed piano hit. And that piano hit adds so much more softness, but it's But the percussion of the piano itself serves as sort of as a drum, because obviously there's always some conflict between, is a piano a percussion instrument or a string instrument? And I mean, you're hitting the strings, but it's also very percussion based. So a lot of people debate that, and I think it's moments like this where you really see the employment of the piano being used as a percussion, because it takes that role of the drums so well, but it doesn't have the same hard-hitting segmentation that drums add to a song. Because a lot of times you can have a harsh drum transition, and what happens is it segments your song, and it makes it harder to tell one single story in your music rather than having multiple catchy segments. And using a piano is a great way to create that continuation, that pushing forward to the song. And I don't want to pretend like the drums aren't adding anything to it, because we can hear those soft digital drums in the back of the mix, and they are keeping a pace up. They're adding so much more energy to the song, because without those drums, this would feel like a lot slower of a song. But because we've got that constant drum in the back, it keeps the pace up, even if the vocals aren't particularly fast, or even if the piano is only hitting chords every now and then. I feel bad saying this, but I cannot tell which one is. There's a very distinct two voices here, but since I haven't heard Millie before, I can't pinpoint which one is Millie and which one is Enna. They have very nice voices, but the thing is, I've heard Enna, and I know she can hit those deeper, more rich tone, as well as those higher, more treble based tones, and I've heard her do both, so I don't know which role she's taking here. I feel bad that I can't tell. This doesn't... That voice there, I'm thinking that's Millie, because the quality to Enna's voice, it sounds much more like that richer tone we got earlier. This sounds like Millie to me, I think. Ooh. I'm really liking those harmonies we're getting on that vocal breakdown there. And we're just getting that piano. The drums didn't have a switch up there, which I think is an important thing a lot of people need to notice when they're composing their own music, is when do you introduce a drum transition? And obviously you can put it wherever you want, but I think what a lot of people don't imagine or don't consider when they're putting drums into their track is, why am I putting the drum here? Why am I adding this to the drum set? Is it just because it sounds good, or is there meaning behind my song? So obviously this song here, we don't have a large switch up here. The switch ups are largely vocal centric, and all the drums and the piano, we're having consistency throughout that piano, which what that tells me is that this song is a centralized story. It's a centralized event. It's a centralized notion, rather than a massive journey or a massive voyage that you'll get in songs that have a very distinct, isolated verses and a chorus. You'll have songs that have a large drop or a large bass cutout and something like that, which separates their song into parts and it puts it in a chronological order. Whereas this song, it's one centralized event and we're pushing throughout the song, and the vocals are what switches up because the vocals are taking center stage. I'm really liking that harmonization we're getting, but it's different lyrics. We're getting we're getting someone on the up high, and then we're getting someone going low, but with a different rhythm, which is really nice. I'm really liking how that sounds. Twerk time. Nice. I want to go back a bit. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking those lower tones there were Enna and the higher tones were Millie. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but that's what I'm thinking. Just because Enna has got this very unique and nasal quality to her voice, and it's when you say a nasal quality, you can kind of understand that, but it's different for every vocalist. This song, Enna's voice here, I say nasally, but that nasal quality to the voice adds a richness and a twang to it that makes it very addicting to hear. It makes it very rich. It's a seductive twang to the voice that creates those bassier tones even when she's singing in a middle tone range for her. So even she doesn't have to go too low to get that bassier element to the mix. And you can hear that this song doesn't have a massive bass underlying tone in the mix that you'll usually get from a heavy drum set or guitar or just, you know, a bass. But this song, I mean, obviously we got a bass guitar in the song, but her voice is filling that role without going too low. And I think that's very important to notice because it's very intentionally done. The song is very light, it's very airy, it's bouncy, but it's not positive necessarily. And I'm really liking how that message is being conveyed here. And I believe we're getting on the higher tones. I believe this is Millie. And she's got a wonderful voice. She's got wonderful control over her pitch, which you can hear just the way she projects and the way she sings. You never hear any wavering. It's always very confident and emotional. And then it seems we've got this musical breakdown. And we're definitely hearing more of the bass in the mix here. Ooh, I really like that. We're getting these. It has the harmonization here. It adds this uneasy quality to the song. But it's not like a scary quality or a particularly like negative quality. Like we heard earlier, we heard Fruit singing Sun Killer, and in that song we could see some harmonies that were very clearly there to create an uneasy quality to the song, an uneasy element to the song. The harmonization here, it doesn't have that. It still has that uneasy quality, but it doesn't have that same manner of it. It's more, it's less, it's less of a intimidation or unfamiliarity, and it's more so just a musical element here that's adding to how the song sounds, but not necessarily the message. Though I have to admit, I'm not reading into the lyrics as much. I'm reading more so into the music and what the music is telling me. But still, I'm really liking that harmonization that we're getting in this after this musical breakdown that we got, where I believe the bass got higher in the mix, which could be because Enna cut out. Because Enna was covering those bass tones with her voice, and then as she went out, the bass went higher in the mix to cover that. But let's keep going. I am rambling quite a bit. Nice. And just that rich vocal quality is so nice. That kind of sounded like Enna up high. I'm not too sure, but that kind of sounded like Enna up high, just because of that slight twang to her voice, that slight nasal quality that makes it sting just a little bit. I have a hard time describing exactly what I hear when I listen to Enna's voice, but it's got this slight twang to it. And if you guys have listened to a lot of Enna, I'm sure you understand what I mean when I say this. And I've heard her speak a couple times, and I feel like it comes out the most when she's talking normally. It's it's just this very unique quality that's very addicting to hear, and I love how it comes out in her singing. Ooh, and is that Millie covering those bass tones now? If it is, that's a very nice, rich sound we're getting from her. Nice. Ooh, I love how instead of getting these heavy drum transitions, we're getting these digital effect transitions that work really well to making the song more smooth and pleasant to the ear. But we've got these nice, this harsh piano. The piano is hitting the keys, and it's not angry, but it's intense, and that intensity is a much needed push for the song to go forward. And I love how the piano delays to match the vocals. If we go back a little bit, listen to that. We get the it's a two-syllable word where she's saying like mate or mate. I don't speak Japanese, I don't know, but it's a two syllables, and on the first syllable she gets to just sing it. On the second syllable we get that digital effect and the piano hits. It's very nice, and it's a nice way to just add this build up to the vocals and keep the listener engaged, and I love that. That's Enna. That's Enna, right? That sounds like Enna. I think so. I'm not too sure. Ooh. Wait, let's go back a little bit. That sounded like, instead of the harmonization we got earlier, that sounded like they added a bit of intentional dissonance there. Wait, no, a little more. Right there. Yeah, on the second... Right there, yeah. Oh, we're getting just this tiny bit of dissonance on that second backing vocal on the la 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 la, or the second la 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 in the mix. I'm gonna go back again. I know I'm looping over this a lot, but I want to listen to this. Yeah, on that backing vocal with the faster rhythm on the la 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 la, that second time she does that, it's slightly dissonant, and that's not an accident. That is intentional, and I really like just the flavor it adds to it, especially as the piano gets more intense. And when I say the piano gets more intense, I don't mean that as in it's getting louder. I just mean that when we have the vocals taking this role where it's not as centered around the lyricism and what the vocals are doing, we're getting that piano, the piano's drive and intensity becomes the center of what the audience is listening to, and then the vocals end up backing up that melody. Ooh, very unique harmonization here. This is very interesting. It's directly playing off of what we just came out of, the segment we just came out of, which is probably why we didn't get any strong transition, as I mentioned before, because the song is continuing off of itself, because it's a contained event, it's a contained notion, and I'm loving how that's reflected in the composition. Ooh, that was a big drop down. Okay, that was really nice. I really liked that. That was... I have trouble explaining exactly what I'm hearing, because I love that, and I want to explain it as well as I can. The way that their voices meshed is beautiful. They swapped between tones. I could definitely hear the voices trading off between higher and lower tones, and I, I'm 90% sure that that nasally tone we got was Enna there, and I'm really liking Millie's voice. This is the first time I'm hearing it, and it's a very clear, well pronounced voice. She never wavers in her pronunciation. She never wavers in her pitch when she's sustaining her notes, and it didn't sound like there was particularly strong pitch correction or voice correction at all. Obviously, there was like vocal effect because that's just the style of the song, that's the aesthetic of the music. But I really like Millie's voice in this, and obviously Enna is stellar as always. So yeah, thank you so much for recommending this to me. This was a beautiful cover. I really like this. So thank you for the recommendation, and as always, feel free to recommend more in the comments below. Aside from that, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.